Hearken, Gemini the Almighty doth speak. Prompt thy petitions, and they shall be bestowed.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Recently, two good friends, Freedom and Adam, and I had a long conversation about adopting AI in our work. Freedom, who is now working in Shanghai for the largest cosmetics and beauty company in the world, has shared an interesting AI technique he has been using, which is asking AI to deliver content in slide format without generating a PPTX file. Generating a PPTX file at first glance seems to be the most logical solution. However, this solution costs money, as most AI currently requires subscription fees or tokens before generating a PPTX file. What we can do instead is to ask AI to deliver the output as an HTML code block, which we will see later in the video. So, what we're going to do for the rest of the video is download a financial report for MGM China Holdings Limited and ask Gemini to summarize it into a 20-slide deck using a style we provide. For those not very familiar with MGM China Holdings Limited, it is one of the world's leading integrated resort companies and a frequent point of comparison in the Macau gaming industry. Okay, here is the website for downloading MGM China's financial reports, and we will select the 2025 interim report. Let's click this and then download. Now, we would need to give Gemini very specific instructions about what we would like to do. In other words, we need to craft our prompt carefully in order to elicit the best possible results from Gemini or any AI of your own choice. To save time, I have already drafted a prompt for this video. There are 4 key pieces of information in the prompt. We first ask Gemini to serve as a senior financial analyst to review and summarize the attached financial report. Then we specify the content requirements, telling Gemini the specific content and delivery format expected from the output. Here, we have given Gemini the option to output content as an HTML code block, which looks something like this. We can think of HTML as the language for describing the contents of a website. And like PDF and PPTX, HTML is just another medium for visualizing contents in the form of a web page, as we will see in a moment. Note that here we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript specifications for building buttons to navigate between slides, an essential feature for enhancing user experience when reading through the slides. Finally, we need to provide Gemini with instructions on the design and style of the output. Specifically, we will ask Gemini to reference this particular format when generating output. Now, let's upload both the financial report and the style reference file, and then paste our prompt. OK. After approximately 35 seconds, Gemini generates some HTML code. Let's copy it into a blank file and save it as an .html file. We can then open it with a web browser. Here, I use Firefox. Here we go. The buttons are certainly working fine. However, the design does not look very similar to the one we provided, but we can tell from Gemini's comments here that it had our design in mind before generating the output. Anyway, feel free to try out this technique yourself and even add your own requirements. That concludes everything I prepared for this video. I hope this technique is useful in your own work. The fast-paced competition among big tech companies continues to drive innovation and new approaches. It can be challenging to keep up, but I'll be sure to share more whenever I discover something valuable. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay happy and healthy.